Hey there, this is Beth, and this is Top 5 Oracle Cards of 2018. Really, if it was top 6, I'd probably have the Holly Simple in here too. It's a hard call sometimes when you're making these lists up because there are certain decks throughout the year that are your favorites, and Holly Simple has also been a mainstay, but with the buying of the only card deck I've bought this year, this is it. Bought one deck, and it's the Saki Saki. Here's the back. I love this deck. And the book that you can buy to go with it is definitely worth it. Monica did an excellent job on the cards and an excellent job on writing a big book. It's in my bookcase and I'm too lazy to get up and get it for you. Sorry. But it's a book. It's not a little white book of nothing. It's a nice book of very interesting information that it will help you foster a greater understanding of not only this deck, but Tarot in general. Definitely well thought out. She shares her artistic process within the book, and I really love this deck so much. I've been using it for my daily pull, partly because I wanted to bring in a bit more playfulness and a bit more creativity since I got it. And it has definitely helped me do that. So, Saki Saki Tarot, definitely, if it's on your list of wants, I would highly recommend picking it up because it's so worth it. Really fun, great colors, creative, joyful, and I can see this one definitely being a staple. Actually, I think this year everything on the Tarot list is an independent deck. It is, yeah. So next up is New Wave Tarot. I think this has been on a couple favorites. Mine is the first edition, I believe. It has squared edges. I do believe there's a second edition with a different back, and the edges are rounded, which frankly is preferred. These are kind of pokey. Sometimes I think about taking my card edger and cutting them off, but I have yet to do such things. If you like 80s New Wave, if you grew up in the 80s and love people like Kate Bush, this is a deck for you. It's all based on basically New Wave stuff, as the name suggests, and it delivers. It's got eyeliners instead of wands, teacups for the cups. There's Judgment with Morrissey and Robert Smith together. Eyeliner, cups, and it's records instead of discs. The Tower. This is one of my favorite Queen of Discs. I really, really love this one. And the 10 of, is it the 9? It's either the 9 of discs or the 10 with Boy George. Is just gorgeous. It's just a gorgeous imagery on it. But yeah, this is one I consistently use. I think last year I used it for the Get Crystal end of year reading for the Major Arcana, because it has a little different twist, and I have a lot of people who buy Get Crystal every year from me, so I like to vary them so people get different things out of it each year. And Liz Fraser is a star. Just there he is. I feel like I haven't seen swords. There's those microphones. There's a sword. These microphones for swords. There's Debbie Harry with a microphone. well done, well thought out, good use of images, good use of the music theme and the music people they're using within the deck. I do feel it leads a little heavy on Depeche Mode. I don't hate, but I really like their early stuff better. But definitely a fun deck. So if it's still out there, I think it's in second edition. Last time I was on Etsy and looked over at it. Great deck. Fun deck to have. And if you love 80s New Wave, definitely a good deck to pick up. Jump back into its box. Okay, we're just going to do... What is her name? I'm having a brain cramp. Please tell me. Devani. That's it. Okay, I'm going to do these two together because they're by the same person. This is the Serpent Fire Tarot. Comes with a little book. It goes beyond just... It has a little more depth than the average little white book. Here's the edition I have. Sure, that's right. It's the back. And I think she has a different version of this out now that's a little more streamlined. If I remember correctly, I could be totally making that up though. I adore this deck. Whenever anyone needs to bring in some energy to the world, into their life, this is the deck I reach for. It's a little powerhouse. I enjoy this deck quite a bit. This is a favorite card out of it. Five of Swords. The imagery, the aspect, kind of like sci-fi Kundalini, Dune, the novel by Frank Herbert, aspect that she brings into actually both of her decks, which are both on my top 10. The use of snake, and snake for me, along with having done a lot of Kundalini yoga over the past, I don't know, it was 5 years or more. There was quite a while where my yoga practice moved completely into a Kundalini yoga practice, and I did Kriyas as opposed to Asana for a very long time, and now it's kind of to move back into Hatha Asana yoga with a touch of Kriya. But the use of snake, so the use of snake for me personally, and what's the working with the snake energy, and then also the Kundalini energy, which is represented by a snake for this. So the snake usage has very much a dual meaning for me, and provides meaning. I think this one's beautiful too. It's just this one reminds me of no. Is it Spleen and Ideal? I think it might be Spleen and Ideal. Deadkin Dances album cover. Not exactly the same, but for some reason it has always reminded me of that. Beautiful deck. I love Devani Wolf's work. It's just nicely done, well thought out. And the next one is also by her. This is the She Wolf. Come on, that pink. It's kind of a pinky thistle, purpley. It's come off more purple. It's more pink. It's green. I don't know what it's going to translate to. Very much focused on the divine feminine in this deck. If you have problems with nudity, it's probably not going to be a good deck for you because there's a lot of nudity. I have no problem with that. I reach for this deck often. Oh, look at that Hierophant. Just, ugh. Yum. This is pretty much a traditional tarot. It has two, what she calls secret. And I really like this Eight of Cups. I like the envisioning. Is she going? Is she leaving? Is she longing? What is the emotion that's coming through? And when you start looking at the other cards surrounding that Eight of Cups, that's where you kind of, is it longing? Is it motion? Is it looking back? This one just has so many questions. What is she thinking? Looking back? Is she moving forward? Is she like looking at someone saying, hey, come on, catch up. You're ready. Here's one of the Secret Arcana cards. The Wheel of Mars. This one's much more simple than Serpent Fire is. And she put out a call to real people as models, which is also very cool. That it's not really modeling models. These are real people who had a connection with the card. And sent their pictures in for it. I find it a very empowering deck. Also, if you're looking for something that is very divine feminine oriented, and it has those pretty metallic sides. Divine Feminine, the She-Wolf Tarot by, it's Devani or Devani, is also a good one. It has a book. I'm not sure. I think it's in my bookcase. It's a smaller book. Fits in the box with this. Around 200 pages. But definitely good, solid deck. And the last one is the Star Child Akashic Tarot. Come here, Temperance. Oh, no, Transformation. So I think this is another one that's been on favorites before. Keep reaching for it over and over and over again, especially for client use. I like the expansiveness this deck brings in, especially in some of the cards that are typically more of a, have negative connotations for people. I find there's an expansiveness in it that can help take them out of that difficult challenger card, and that one didn't want to be seen, into a better space. I like the use of sacred geometry in it. I love the color usage. It's such a cohesive deck, and it's such a beautiful deck. I think there's a borderless version out these days. And don't you just want to be that Seven of Crystals? The effortlessness of it. And like the Eight of Wands, which tends to, like I said, this is a favorite deck. Let's see if I can find, or not. Like the Three of Swords tends to be that heart with the three swords in it. And this is a much more nurturing, protective, healing Three of Swords than the heart with the three swords in it. How can I nurture my soul? How can I nurture my spirit? And there are several deck cards. This is an extra Akashic Records card. Transformation, which I believe is death. Serenity, which I think is the Hanged Man or the Hermit. I can't remember. I have to see the number. Beautiful, beautiful deck though. Very expansive. Definitely worth picking up. She's done a beautiful job at creating this deck. And definitely, well, yes, Danielle Noel. I'm remembering it correct. Okay. She also did a project with Rebecca Campbell, I think, and has a deck she designed for Rebecca Campbell too. So if you have whatever that deck is, and you're like, that looks really kind of similar style, it's because it was designed by the same artist. So that's this year's favorite tarot cards. You got the Star Child Akashic Tarot, the She-Wolf Tarot, Serpent Fire Tarot, and the New Wave Tarot, which doesn't have a sparkly box. Oh, Saki Saki, which I threw over there, which also does. And Saki Saki comes with a box you can assemble yourself, but I have yet to assemble the box myself. But yeah, all solid decks. Very. Even the Serpent Fire and the She-Wolf, who is done by the same person, are very different from each other in essence and energy. They have like a strand. You can feel the consistency of the artist, but like Serpent Fire is super, super energetic, where I feel like the She-Wolf draws more into the divine feminine. It has a bit more sword. It's not like, what is the word? I can't think of the, it's like, it's very empowered, but not buzzing like the Serpent Fire one is. New Wave, just, I love New Wave so much. Saki Saki, joyful, playful, in total fun. Okay, everyone have a wonderful, wonderful rest of December, and I will see you in the new year. Bye-bye.